All right, guys, it's time for our hot topics.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Each of our hosts brings a hot topic they want to share with you. We'll ask, is it a truth, lie, or shenanigans? And our panel will talk about it for a bit until the time is up. And then we'll go to our audience questions and comments. So make sure you're talking to us in all of our threads. And today we're going to start off with Gianni Storm. You're talking about the effects of pop culture in our politics. Is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Um, this is a little bit of truth and a little bit of shenanigans.
Okay.
Um, a recent article about pop culture and politics talked about how many of us probably feel we need a break. So this posed the question in my head, should pop culture and politics mix? On one hand, there can be good things that have come from entertainers and celebrities voicing opinions, and everyone should have their right to speak up. On the other hand, we need different shenanigans to talk about. So, or at least we need like new conversations to speak about, new things to talk about that don't tie back to politics.
Right.
So, pop culture has always played a major role in shaping the public's opinion, society's political activity, and even shaping our government. So, my question to you guys is, do you think it should be important that we recognize the role that pop culture plays in our political life?
Let's
Yeah.
go to Robbie Rock on that. What do you think, Robbie Rock?
I I think that it shouldn't be dismissed because unfortunately people love their entertainers and seem to think that these are intelligent people, while some of them may be intelligent people and have backgrounds in politics or legal matters. I'm thinking, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura's opinions on politics would hold more clout than Carl Weathers. They were all in Predator together,
Carl
but
Weathers.
Yeah.
two of them have run for office, have held office. So I would listen to those entertainers before I would listen to any other cast member in Predator.
So you
But it's
you're not feeling celebrities kind of being
I'm
in
kind of
politics.
tired of
Opinion.
it. Yeah, like I mean, they're sharing their political
Yeah.
opinions. They're not political experts. And from a marketing perspective, I get it. It totally makes sense for politicians to get these celebrity endorsements. It totally makes sense because these are the people that have the most reach. And I think that that's more an indictment of the people than pop culture and politics. People are drawn to that celebrity status. Americans have been voting in entertainers for decades. Decades. Absolutely love that star power. And unfortunately, as we saw with the last administration, star power doesn't mean effective leadership.
Mike Winter said, not
Yeah.
predator politics. Lizzie Enders.
So I think one, we need to recognize and keep in mind that this is a free society. And so everyone, whether they be the common man, a politician, a homeless person on the street, they have their right to voice their opinion, including their political opinion. And I teach for the School of the New York Times, I teach a class over the summer called Sports and Politics. And people often say that sports figures should not be in politics. They should keep their political opinions to themselves. They should essentially shut up and dribble. And my comment, my retort to that is, well, do you tell the plumber that he should just shut up and fix my sink?
Mm,
Everyone has a right to
mm,
voice their opinion about politics. And when you live in a society where now more than ever, people are putting their opinions, putting what they think, putting what they believe, endorsing who they believe on social media, there's no way to escape it. And so we can't just say, okay, you over here, because you are not, a celebrity, because you're not in Hollywood, you're not a singer, you're not an athlete, you over here have more of a right to say how you feel about a certain candidate, to say how you feel about a certain issue than the regular person who isn't a part of that life. That makes absolutely no sense because at the end of the day, politics affects all of us.
yeah.
And in a free society, we all have a right to turn it off.
Yep.
We all have a right not to listen. And so, I mean, yeah, does it get tired? I mean, my segment is going to be on Charles Barkley and, his asinine comments about COVID. Do I think he's absolutely wrong? Obviously, absolutely.
Yeah,
However, I don't think that he should just shut up and never talk politics again,
yeah.
because he has that right. Living in America. Now, if we were in, a communist country, if we were in North Korea, then yeah, you could say athletes, celebrities, pop culture people, shh. But we're talking about opinions here.
All right.
We're not talking about people who are setting policy. We're talking about opinions here. And everyone has a right to bring
Yeah.
their opinions to the table.
All right. So I just want to, I think Mike Wolf is sort of agreeing with you, Robbie, but he says it was definitely a mistake to elect the host of Celebrity Apprentice to be president. All right. Now, I'm actually,
We didn't let him be
that's
president.
true.
People elected him
Yeah,
as president.
that's
So
true.
They put him
Good
in
point.
power.
All right. So these are my thoughts real quick. So I love that pop culture affects politics, actually. So if you look at late night TV or award shows, particularly now, um, I think that's why we were able to get over the hump with Trump was because of that influence. I mean, if you look at there's a large number of TV shows and movies that incorporated the Trump era into their dystopian views of the world, right? And then, and a lot of films were made because it was relatable to the Trump era. So there's a lot of films, a lot of TV shows that were made. I mean, you think of Star Wars. There was a lot of stuff in there, like Klansman, The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm sure our audience can probably list a whole bunch of others. But if it wasn't for the constant berating of Trump in pop culture, I'm not sure we would have gotten 80 million people voting for Joe Biden. Because if I'm being honest, I would say at least half of them were not voting for Biden, but against Trump. So, do I think that pop culture is important? Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Also, too, so Jacqueline Robinson, just in our comments, she also brought up a good point about the 50s and the 60s. Several Hollywood celebrities participated in the March on Washington in 1963. And so pop culture provides a voice for the common man. We may not always agree with what that voice is saying, with what that message is saying. But again, that's what happens in a free society. Now, Neo just put up this picture. So this is a cover, the most recent cover of Vogue magazine, Vogue America, US Vogue, of Kamala Harris. And so there was a lot of back and forth about the layout for this, how it looked visually, that she was too casual, that she had on sneakers, that she wasn't glammed up like most Vogue covers. But I think the whole point was to highlight the fact that she isn't a glamour queen,
Right.
that this is the Kamala Harris that is going to be second in line to POTUS here in this country. And that's how we see her every single day. And I don't want, Anna Winter messing up, Kamala Harris and putting on some glam gown on her where she feels uncomfortable, whatever. Like, show her as she is and let her speak to us. And of course, she had the AKA colors in the background. I'm gonna try not to offend any AKA members that may be watching the show this afternoon. But that was a lot. That cover garnered a lot of talk, a lot of chatter
Yeah.
on social media over the last week.
All right, Gianni.
And that's a
You have
question I
you have
had.
like 15 seconds, Gianni. Go ahead.
That's a question I had too to you guys about do you think that okay, it's good to talk about politics and pop culture, but do you think that a lot of the talk is about stuff like this, Liz, like insignificant things like Kamala's outfit for the cover of Vogue? Like it's not you the opinions are usually on small, minute things and they make them big things. So that's why I feel like
All right, Lizzie.
politics and pop culture is cool, but
All right, Lizzie, 30
I think
seconds.
we also have to remember that we have a lot of, narrow-minded people here in this country. And so
sure.
people who may not be in tune with Kamala Harris, if not for this cover. They don't care about politics or whatever, but they care about Vogue. They care about the fashion industry. So they see Kamala Harris And they're like, oh, let me check her out.
Did you have any
So,
thoughts,
it
Yanni?
goes both ways.
Yanni, did you have any thoughts you wanted to share, Yanni?
No, just that mainly people are, and when they do have an opinion about politics, it's not really educated. And not saying that it's like, it's just an opinion. You know what I mean? They're just gathering from different media sources.
All right, let's get to some of these comments online real quick. So we've got Kevin Thaxton says actors, singers, major athletes were used by the government to make folks support both world wars. Famous folks are fair game. Mike Winter says, "Get her, mom, pounding on your sore."
I
I
know
guess
he wasn't
there's
talking
some
to me because
I think there's some conversation going on in the background that I'm
I was
missing.
gonna say I was not clowning Kamala.
Sherry Blaine Priest says, "Good topic, Gianni Storm, and good point, Neo Nick." Zuleika says, "Opinions are like a-holes. You know the rest." All right. All right. That's it for that hot topic. Thank you for that topic, Gianni Storm. Let's move on to our next one.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.